Hello, beautiful plant people. Welcome to my summer sanctuary. Well, not just summer sanctuary, it's a sanctuary all year round. This isn't just a plant tour, it is a celebration of growth, of joy, and of light. As we are here in the last days of summer, I'd like to invite you into my home, not to show perfection, but to show you the reality of my houseplant collection. Let's take a soulful stroll through my houseplant collection. Right. So let's start here, which now I believe is actually my oldest plant. Maybe the second oldest plant. So this is my Dieffenbachia Tropic Snow that I purchased probably over 8 years ago. Yeah, over 8 years ago. It was probably, 2 feet tall and it was from a nursery and garden store that was down the road there, but they have now closed. And I remember actually riding my bike home with it in my backpack, riding along with the plant sticking out behind my head, riding it home. Dieffenbachias are quite known to have growth at the top and then the bare stems below. They planted this with 3 different plants in it, so it looks a little bit fuller as it grows up, and then these start to grow up midway, so it looks fuller where there is bare stems. Here is my Epipremnum pennatinum variegata. It was a beautiful little plant. Most of the plants in my collection are smaller plants. I prefer to see them smaller than watch them grow out. So this had a horrible spider mite infestation that I couldn't get under control. So I just took a couple of cuttings, and this is the one that has survived. This is a cutting of a marble queen pothos. Some of it has reverted back, but yeah, I just like it in the little tea pot here. This is my philodendron micans that I got this cutting from my mom, I want to say 2.5 years ago, and it was just a single small little cutting that's grown into this. This is actually one of the plants that is due for a repot. You can see the roots there. So that is, yeah, definitely a sign for a repot. This here is a cutting of my pearls and jade. What happened with the mother plant? The mother plant had these long vines, and then they were bare in the middle, and then they had the leaves at the end. So I just took a couple of cuttings. It is quite rooted. You can see there's a lot of roots. So I'm going to put this eventually back in with the mother plant when I do a repot, because the mother plant is in desperate need for a repot. Here we have my philodendron squamiferum. It was as tall as this bamboo stake, but the new growth was coming out wonky. And then you can see it's growing out there from the node as another offshoot with some new growth. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing this grow back up to its original height. And here we have my philodendron Florida bronze. And it is, when I got it, I believe it was just, maybe to there. And it's grown quite beautifully. When I first purchased this philodendron Florida bronze, it cost me, I want to say $169 at that time. Of course, at that time it would have been what's called a rare plant or a unicorn plant. So you're paying a premium for these plants when they first come out on the market. I wonder how much they're going for now. So on top of my bookshelf, the tall bookshelf, there is a grow light there on a timer. This is my Hoya Mathilde, the original one that I've had this is probably one of a group of, maybe second group of Hoyas that I got. And then we have in these plastic containers are cuttings and some wet sticks that I have to take care of. They're in horrible shape. But in this one, I actually have a couple of Hoya Polyneura cuttings that I need to get potted up and some other cuttings. And I don't know what's going on there, but we have my regular green jade plant, and then we have the variegated plant, and I'm not sure what that is. And then we have my monkey tail cactus. So if you have any tips you can share on how to get the growth to come out larger so that it can look like the original. Maybe it just needs more light, but if you can let me know, that would be great. And it's hanging down there. We have many different plants, but mostly we have my orchids, and we have 4 plants that are hanging from the window. First plant here is my Hoya latifolia, which I believe is suffering from some flat mites. Latifolia was formerly called the microphylla. This is my second version of this plant. Look into treating that. And then here we have my Hoya pupacalyx, which has given me many flowers. And beside my pupacalyx, we have my Hoya weirdii and the mother pearls and jade plant there. We have a euphorbia, which I got from Barbados. I got from Barbados, so it's, doing what it does best. Nothing too special, it's doing what it does. And this is a cactus. This is a cactus that I had repotted late last year. It had root mealies, and now it's sitting in Crystal Star Mineral Magic Mix, and it seems to be making a comeback. You can see where this part here, probably the inch or so, a little bit more than an inch, is all new growth. And you know it's new growth because it is darker green in color. We have a Hoya, and I can't remember the name of this. I will put it on the screen. This is plant I've had, probably 3 years now. For the longest time, it did not grow. It only had the 2 leaves on it, and then it finally grew off a shoot, and then more leaves came. But it hasn't flowered for me yet. But it's it's doing what it does. Some of you may remember my Hoya carriera. In a video, I talked about letting go of this one because it wasn't really bringing me any joy, but I did keep it, or I tried to give it up. I still have it. It actually has bloomed for me, so it did get off. This is all new growth here, and then this is the peduncle where the flowers grew. They were quite stunning and beautiful, very sappy. So the sap was actually dripping down, and the sap was a kind of an orangey, a deep amber color. Then we have my Alocasia frydek. If the thing about alocasias, I love alocasias. I've had many alocasias. I believe now in my collection I only have two, this one and another smaller one, which is the green the green fried egg alocasia. But I got this maybe last summer. So there's the new growth. The really interesting thing about this, because it's sitting in the window, the new leaf shoots out. You can actually see it inside of the stem. It's really quite neat. And then it just, kind of rears its beautiful head. So, and then next is going to be a series of orchids. This is my Lockhartia or Steady Eye. It has these tiny, tiny, tiny little yellow blooms. You can see where it has, see there, where it has dried up. It was in a pot, but the pot fell and cracked. So this is my temporary solution to have it sit in here. And because it's a little top heavy, then I just put it in this pot. These two are of the same plant. This is a little a little baby off of this one. This is an orchid type as well. This is a Dendrobium capituliflorum, and it actually hasn't flowered for me. I think it only flowered when I purchased it. It had flowers. Now I can't even remember what the flowers look like. But what I will do is I will insert a picture, if I can find it, of what the flowers look like. This is my Phalaenopsis Amber Princess. Came with these beautiful, beautiful amber, soft pink, orange flowers. It was really actually quite stunning. And this is one of my orchids that's not doing too well. This is the older leaf, which is turning yellow. I'm not sure why. I fertilize it pretty regular with just the orchid mist fertilizer. This is my Phalaenopsis Mitu Diamond Panda. Oh, and the flowers on this as well has this lovely purple, purple and white flower, really quite stunning, but it does remind you of a panda, so I imagine partly that's where it's gotten its name from. This is one of those plants that is in need of some TLC. I could simply just cut these off. It had beautiful, beautiful purple flowers. Even without the flowers, it really is quite stunning. Because of the variegation on the leaves. And then we have another orchid. This is the Paphiopedilum Cocoa Purple Kitty, Kokomoto Kitty. And this I purchased last summer, and you can still see it has the stem from the flower that was there. There are actually appear to be three different plants in here. This will need a repot as well. When I did purchase this from the seller did say that it's best once they flower to repot them, to give them new substrate, and you can see, it's yellowing as well. So I'm not sure what's going on, but either, sun damage. But there's one shoot, one flower, one plant there that is doing still okay. But yeah, it's one. And another orchid. This is a Mytilonia, I believe, Mytilonia. If it's not correct, I'll put the correct name. And now, actually, I can't even remember what the flowers look like on this. It did flower for me earlier this year, but it hasn't flowered since. And this needs a little bit of TLC as well. Just, clip these brown parts off. Right now, most of my orchids I water maybe anywhere from 8 to 10 days. It has been a little bit cooler as we are now towards the end of summer, going into autumn. So the daylight is less, the night is longer, so they don't dry out as quickly. So I can keep them from water a little bit longer in between. So on the table I have a Phalaenopsis. I have no idea what kind it is. It's a grocery store orchid that I got for my birthday last year, and this has bloomed for me many times. This is probably the third or fourth time that it's been in bloom. And we have another grocery store orchid here as well. This had purple and white blooms that just fell off. Hoya Crimson Queen cutting. This is my 2.0 version, a cutting of my 2.0 version. This had a bout of mealybugs, so I took a cutting because this Crimson Queen is one of my favorite Hoyas, and I didn't want to see it go, so yeah, I still have a cutting. Let's finish up with my orchids. This one, so this is a bulbophyllum, and I am not going to attempt to say the name. I will put the name on the screen. But this is still, you can see in the moss, desperate need of a pot into some proper substrate. I do water it once a week because of the moss. It does dry out quite quickly. It has flowered for me. It had a beautiful kind of long hanging flower. Yeah, I have another bulbophyllum. And this is my other bulbophyllum. This is the Elizabeth Ann. Yes, Elizabeth Ann, and this has not flowered for me yet. I bought it without the flower spike, but I will insert a picture of what the flower looks like. I was drawn to it because it's one of those long hanging, unique looking flower for an orchid. It's not your typical, round kind of shape one. It was longer in length. And then another orchid, and this is the Hawaiian Sunset Aura Verde. And this has flowered for me as well. Probably get flowers once a year and has these lovely yellow flowers on it. I will keep that. And then the last orchid around, I don't even know what type of orchid this is. This is a grocery store orchid, also in need of a repot. You can see all of the roots there just kind of going around in the pot. I believe these are purple flowers as well. It's just orchid bark. So when I do a repot, I will put that in the treasure mix. Tropical mix, I believe, actually tropical mix. And my bear paw, it actually, now that I'm looking at it, it hasn't flowered for me this year. I normally get flowers on it early spring. I believe I had flowers on it. It has these yellow flowers. And do you remember when these were all the rage? The string of hearts variegated. What was happening is that the top was getting bare, and then there was just leaves at the bottom. But yeah, this is a cutting. Is this a cutting? No, this might be the original. It wasn't, I think it only had a few strands on it when I did get it, but it did grow a little bit more. And then once I cut it back, this is what is left. Yeah, I love this variegation. This is Opuntia, which is just sitting with a little chopstick because it was kind of leaning over. So I use the chopstick as a support. So this is the Opuntia monocotta variegata. And this is still in its nursery pot and soil, also in need of a repot. And probably a bit of watering. You can see it's really thin at the top. I know the nature of this plant is to be thin, but the back compared to the front here is not variegated, whereas this is all variegated. So I actually might turn this around so that this is facing out towards the sun. So that is it for the plants in the living room on the windowsill. One of many marble queen pothos. This one sits in the living room just on the far end of the wall. Is in desperate need of repot. You can't see here, but this is a 4-inch or maybe 5-inch pot, and it's actually cracked. So I will have to upgrade that pot and give that plant a lot more room. Beside the TV, we have my good old spider plant. This was 2 plants, I believe, that I purchased summer of 2024. They were outside in the hanging baskets, but I brought them inside, and yeah, so. This is my black ZZ plant with its one stem. It did have 2 other stems, but they got soft and broke off at these points here, and then this is when this shoot came up. I've only ever had a maximum of 2 stems on this ZZ, but this is actually the tallest it's ever been. Yes, we have my Hoya linearis, this is like my top favorite Hoya, and it has gone through quite a bit. This now is, this is a cutting from what was left of the mother plant. The mother plant is no longer, so this is the cutting that remains. This is one of my favorite plants, so I wanted to try to save it. Also, probably the 3rd time. This is a cutting of a marble queen that I've had forever in water. It's never been in substrate other than water. Many, many years. I probably want to say 3 or 4 years I've had that in water. This is my neon pothos that is hanging across from the window. And when I got this was just a 4-inch pot, tiny, tiny little thing. But here she is now in all her glory. Snake plant I've had for many, many, many years. Probably one of my older plants. Here is my oxalis, my purple oxalis with many, many flowers. This is probably the most flowers it's ever had. And my anthurium, one of my anthurium Doc Block Michelles. This is another orchid. This is it's a sweetheart. But what type of sweetheart? It's a cymbidium. Yeah, a cymbidium sweetheart. And it's quite grassy and beautiful, and it came with these beautiful flowers as well. This is the spike from the flowers, which I need to cut off. Then we have here is my Hoya Wilbur Graves, Hoya carnosa Wilbur Graves, which is in a self-watering pot, also needs a pot. This Hoya is the Hoya cystiantha, and this is a numbered Hoya, my Hoya SPVL9, and then this is the Hoya meridiae. It is yellowing a bit as well. This is the newest leaf. These 2 are the oldest ones. Oh, actually, this is the newest leaf here. So the newest leaf looks like it's okay. This is my Hoya Meridiae. This is the Hoya filled silver splash. A couple of leaves are starting to turn yellow, and you can even see this one starting to turn yellow. I'm not sure why, so any insight, please let me know. Philodendron heartleaf plants, and there's a Philodendron Brazil, a small one there at the back. My Philodendron gloriosum, which is not looking too healthy right now. Even the new growth here, you can see is yellow and not growing, so probably has some sort of pest. Thai constellation and Philodendron glad hands, Anthurium forgetii with the 2 leaves. Then we have my Anthurium pallidiflorum with some new shoots there and a bit of yellowing on the oldest leaf there, so I will have to give that cut that off. Then we have my Anthurium silver blush. Same thing, we have some yellowing. It's still in the pot that I purchased it in over a year ago. It was May 2024, so I do have to get these repotted. And here is my Philodendron Florida Ghost, which the new growth is so tiny. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And then we have my Florida Beauty here. So these are the lovely large leaves, but the new growth there is just coming out tiny. So I'm not sure what to do about that. This is a pothos, my marble queen pothos, in need of some TLC and actually some watering. It dries out way too quickly, so it probably does need to have a repot. And beside it, it's just hanging on the opposite end of the window, so there are quite, as you can see, there are quite a bit of yellow leaves that I need to remove. Then this is a cutting as well, not from this queen, but from another one. You can see that this is mostly reverted back to green, but you can see there is a little bit of variegation on it. My other dock block Michelle, which is doing beautifully. This is the leaves, so velvety and actually textured, velvety and textured. It's quite beautiful. And then we have some sort of syndapsis. I believe it was like the agaricus, if I'm saying that correctly. I can't quite remember now. And then we have my spider plant, another spider plant back there, still in the nursery pot, in desperate need of a repot as well. The other side of my dresser, I have my Philodendron Ring of Fire in desperate need of a repot. Desperate need of a repot. I need to upsize that big time. And maybe I thought about putting out a moss pole. I bought the pole for it and I have the moss, so I just need to figure out if I'm going to do that. This is actually distilled water from my pinguiculas, so I just keep it filled here to water when I see that my pinguiculas need watering. This is another syndapsis, which also needs to be watered and repot. all of the roots there. So repot, and we have new leaf and some new growth there. Then on my dresser, just in front of the window, we have my ficus tanaki. This is one of my older plants as well. I did have another ficus, the dark green one, but that kept getting spider mites, so I just chopped it up and I tried to propagate it, but the propagation wasn't doing too well. We have here is my Hoya Bella variegated. This is in water, propagating, and a lot of roots there, so it's time to get that potted up, which I do plan to do very soon. There's a little dried up peduncle, so it tried to flower but didn't quite make it. This white stuff here is the sap, so when you cut into some Hoyas, so that's what that is. And we have here my Anthurium crystallinum, which is actually not looking bad. There's a little yellowing leaf I need to get rid of. And then we have another Anthurium here. This Anthurium actually grew from a seed. This is the Anthurium crystallinum black. I believe 3 seeds, and this is the seed that actually grew out into something. Here we have my Hoya Rangson Splash. You can see here it was dealing with flat mites. That's flat mite damage. We have here my Pingricula little garden. It's doing beautiful. This one Pingricula has been flowering for me constantly. Looking pretty good. And then this is another Hoya Carnosa Wilbur Graves China, and it still has a beautiful flower. Isn't it gorgeous? And it doesn't smell anymore, but it smelled somewhat like chocolate to me. And then behind the Wilbur Graves, we have Hoya Michelle Splash. Yes, Hoya Michelle Splash. Here is a Ripsalis, beautiful, beautiful pink fruit. So beautiful. Unique and beautiful. Just beside the dresser, we have some more orchids and some more plants. And here beside the window is my philodendron Brazil. So this is another Hoya Wadii. This is one of 2 of the first Hoyas that I purchased from Crystal Star Nursery when I first came across Hoya. So this is one of 2 of the plants. It's old, it's suffering. It had some flat mites, but it is getting some new growth. It is sun bleached, and also need a repot, but I will keep it. And then we have my other Hoya, my Hoya Sunrise. Oh, sad as well, but it did get some new growth this summer. This is in need of some TLC as well. So it has suffered from flat mites. It has a lot of flat mite damage. So I may get a cutting. Heartleaf philodendron, which are hugging, which I like to say are hugging, on the opposite ends of the orchids. And then here is this is another path. So this is a path Hyacinth Anita. It had this beautiful, beautiful flower, which is no longer there, but the stem is still there. And then this is another orchid type. This is a Denburl Wolf cross with a Hilda Pixon cross with a Speciosum Wendemere. So it is a mouthful, but it's beautiful. I love this one. It hasn't flowered for me either since I had it. This is my other bear paw, soft pink leaf on my green. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me in my summer sanctuary. I hope that this plant tour reminds you that plant care is not perfect. Until next time, stay grounded and keep showing up for yourself. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Peace.